Channel. Dynamic Racing Series. Good evening to Stacey in the chat. Hope you have enjoyed your trip to the dentist. As much as one can, of course. Just getting them readied up now for short qualifying. 36 laps race coming your way with the short quali. And of course in Brazil, one of those with a higher risk of rain than most. Interlagos, of course, the track. For a while, the traditional finish of the season in the real-life Formula 1 world before Abu Dhabi came along. The scene of some dramatic real-life F1 conclusions. Here, the drama in the main championship is over. Craggy is crowned champion with a couple of races to spare. There's still a good race on for second between Joker and Max World. The Constructors' Championship also wide open. And of course the Pro-Am where Sloth is almost there. We'll take you through the standings after qualifying.
Yo blogs.
Good evening to Magnatex in the chat. You're joining us at Vegas later on. Had a very good scrap within myself in Bahrain in Baker's League on Wednesday. It was good to be back racing after a bit of an absence.
Love that scrap.
It was good stuff. Hopefully I'll be in again this week, depending if I can get back from work in time. But all being well, I'll be in again on Wednesday. Even though really I should go to sleep.
Thumbs up. Medium skin tone.
Hello to Bazza in the chat. Good evening.
I'm loving the new Ferrari engine sound as well.
I've not really paid too much attention. I'm probably so unfamiliar with driving any of the cars that I don't notice anymore. Couple on their way out. I think Marvski is out first. Very long pit exit, of course, here at Interlagos. It is indeed Marvski who is out there first.
They sound like something you don't Wayne or F with lol.
That's interesting. We've got overcast conditions at the moment. And it could look like rain. One of the drivers want to let me know the weather forecast. That'd be brilliant, because I don't get to see such information. So Marvski will start us off then in a short quali. A few others out there now on outlaps, but Marvski first to it. So we will keep with him as he gets going. Very interesting to see if there is any rain in quali or indeed the race. As always, we're live on Twitch and Kick. No underscore on the Kick name, it's just Blobby Butler. And Marvsky might get a little toe here from his teammate Craggy. We saw Craggy do some of this in the Miami race last week with Noodles at McLaren as well. And Marvsky is on provisional pole with a 108.4 ahead of Joker, who did a 108.5. Sainsy is just coming out. Here is Syme coming around the last couple of corners. And Syme does a 108.6. Abu Dhabi on Wednesday, oh dear. Not one of my favourites. Well, I've got no time to try and find a new setup, so I'll just have to see if I get home in time. Senna 109.9. Bit off the pace. Colin a 108.5 goes to P2 in the Aston Martin. Joker now improved. No, sorry, Joker didn't improve. Craggy on the board 109.3. So Marvsky's opening lap. Really very good. Easy Life and Swanton now on the board in the 110s. Max is on the board with a 108.5. Marvsky, top lap. No disrespect in sounding surprised, but so far he's got them all on the run. Sainsy on his way now, but slowing. Sloth a 108.7 goes ahead of Senna. We are with Smug. Neither of the Red Bulls have set a time yet. Swanton goes to provisional pole position. 108.3 for him. A few now in the pits. Rouge Nico 109.4. Let's see what Smug can do here. It's a 109.0 and P9. Sainsy is going round again, so we'll ignore that time from him. Here is Mr. Pickle, who's the last one now to set a time. Pickle towards the line. It's going to be in the 110s, and it's right down in P14 for Mr. Pickle. Marvsky's well down, but he's going round again. Swanton coming back in, I would assume. Indeed. Here's Sainsy. Let's see how he's going to do this time. To the line comes Sainsy, 109.2, and that's P10 for him. And at the moment, the surprise is Craggy way down in P11. The world champion. He's taken a little bit of time off of that though, but it's got a long way to go to get right up where he usually is. Here goes Craggy to the line, and it's a 109.1 and still P10. So he's back ahead of Sainsy, but still down in P10. Pickle on his way back in. Here's Joker. And he is up on his time as he clears some traffic. I believe Smug behind him is also on a hot lap. Oh, the spin for Joker, just pushing too hard. It wasn't Smug behind Joker, it was Mr. Pickle, who is coming round towards the line and does a 109.3, and that puts him up to P12. And then he's gone very wide. And we'll just be keeping out of the way. Syme now on another run, currently in P6, but just 0.3 off pole time. Very tight at the top. All the way down to Smug in 9th, within half a second of the pole time at the moment. An invalidation for Syme. This is Max. And Max is taking time off. This could be potentially a provisional pole. Max up towards the line, and he goes 108.5. He lost some time, and he can only go to 4th. Joker, though, can go to provisional pole. 108.2 now for Joker, and this battle for second in the championship is really hotting up. Swanton is still in there with a chance of that as well. Marvsky, that initial lap of his still holds him in 3rd. Then it's Colin and Max from Syme. Sloth, Senna and Smug all in the 108.7s. And then Craggy will look to improve from P10 around a second off the pace. Sainsy now. Remember, a 36 lap race to come. Sainsy half a second down. There's Nico invalidated. Easy Life going for another go, as is Marvsky, and Marvsky is up through Sector 1. So we will stay with Marvsky. As Sloth improves ahead of Syme. Here comes Marvsky, couple of tenths up. Can he hold it through the last sector? If he can, he'll be back on the front row. Here comes Marvsky towards the line. 108.4, stays in P3. So a couple of times now it's happened where drivers have just lost it through the last sector. Craggy now up on his time. And is invalidated. Sainsy. See how he's doing through sector 2. He is up on his time. Now, can he hold it through this last sector and potentially climb into the top 10?
Hello.
He can. It's P9. Hello to Alex in the chat. Looking forward to seeing you in Vegas later on, where in Lemon's absence, the championship could go to the final week. Sainsy there, above Smug.
How are you today?
We are all good. All good.
Evening.
Good evening to the Madness in the chat as well.
Should be good, mate.
Sainsy up to P9, ahead of Smug, but only just. Smug's out on track, but not making any improvements.
Should have done Miami.
At the moment. Yes, indeed.
Been closer.
Only 7 finishers as well, so even just finishing Miami would have scored some serious points. Shout out to Wildcat for his 7th place, highest finish for him of the season. Let's see how Smug's getting on through sector 2. Craggy climbs, you knew he would. And that is up to 5th with a 108.5. Smug on pace to try and beat that. DRS open. Smug up towards the line. 108.5 for Smug, just behind Craggy, but just ahead of Max. So P6 now for Smug. Here is Swanton as we enter the last 2.5 minutes of the session. Senna's way down in 10th. That's disappointing for him. Joker and Swanton at the moment piling it on to Max for this race for second. Of course, we will be seeing Max and Craggy later on as well. And the new seasons are coming very, very soon. No break in DRS. We're straight back with the new season, week 1, on October the 7th. We have a couple of weeks off Blobby Mondays, and we start on the 21st. Calendar is coming soon. I will have that with you by this time next week. Swanton miles over that time, but we'll go again. Marvsky down on his time. Craggy going slowly. Max is going to start another lap. Syme slightly up on his time. Everybody getting busy out there at the moment with a minute left to go. I will try and call them all over the line once the checkered flag flies. Just a couple more on outlap should make it round. Marski goes to provisional pole with a 108.0. Incredible stuff from Marski. Ruzhniko now into the top 10. Splitting Max and Sloth. We're with Senna. And Senna doesn't improve, but does have another chance. Not long now to go. Smug's in the pits. He's finished, as is Easy Life. Let's see Max. He's up on his time. And Max hits the line. Oh, it's 1,000th of a second short of pole position. Checkered flag flies. Sainsy to P11 ahead of Senna. Joker hits the line. Swanton down on his time. Sloth into the pit lane. Colin now. He's improving. He did improve but stays in P5. Who else have we got? Mr. Pickle up to P11. 50 Gent finishes. He's in 14th. Ruzhniko's miles over his time. Swanton's over his. Symes over his. Craggy's well over. And Senna will be the last one. Senna, P12 for Senna. Is Max having another go? No, he is not. So there you have it. Marvsky with a maiden pole position for McLaren. And what an absolute blow it could be in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren are going for it. Craggy's the world champion. He's down in P7. His teammate, pole position. Max in second. Joker and Swanton, his main rivals for second in the championship, are on the second row. Then it's Colin and Syme, Craggy and Smug, Ruzhniko and Sloth. Mr. Pickle, Senna right down in 12th. Bad qualifying session for him. He's followed by Sainsy, 50 Gent and Easy Life. The fun then only just beginning. 36 laps ahead of them, and look at that gap just above my head there. Plus 0.001. It was that close, but Marvsky takes pole ahead of Max. I am going to take you through some of the championship standings because we have a little break for drivers to get their strategies and fuel loads. So we will take you through some of the standings. The driver's standing sees Craggy as world champion. He is clear. Sun is out in Brazil. As you see the pit lane while they get ready. Max has a 17-point cushion on Joker with Swanton 5 further back. That's the battle for second in the overall driver's standings. The pro driver standings sees a 9-point gap for Max ahead of Swanton with Joker 7 further back. Craggy clear and crowned champion. The battle, the Pro-Am, but Skippy is missing today for Williams, which has it in Sloth's hands. It's in Sloth's hands as he has a 21-point gap to add to today in the penultimate race with Skippy not here. Sainsy is next. Mr. Pickle has dropped right away. The team standings. McLaren 13 points adrift of Ferrari. But of course they have a man on pole today. The V-Carbs could still challenge Sainsy and Joker. 40 points off the top. Then it's Williams. I think Red Bull. I think Williams, Red Bull, Sauber have got too much to do. Haas are at the bottom. So that brings you right up to date. And we await the ready up. I will take you through the tyre choices on the formation lap on what looks to be a dry day, but of course the drivers see more weather forecasting stuff than I do. So we will see about that. Don't forget, 10 PM for Las Vegas, Blobby Mondays, Season 3, penultimate race. And Lemons, returning from his holidays, is not in. So Alex InRacer has the opportunity to take it to Barcelona and the 100% race next week to determine the Season 3 World Champion. Red Bull look to extend their advantage in the Constructors' Championship, Bracey and Alex Pixie, which has been done on consistency more than anything. Very good, consistent, high-placed finishes for those two this season, and they lead. But first we concentrate on Brazil and DRS, where the majority go for mediums. In fact, the top 8 all go for mediums. Rouge Nico is rogue in that he goes for soft tyres. Senna in P12 also goes for the soft tyres, maybe hoping to pick up some places and an early safety car perhaps. Sainsey, the only driver on the hard tyre, will be hoping obviously for the opposite. It is a 36 lap race. One of the higher numbers of laps on the calendar. And Marvsky is going to lead them. Oh, Simon Craggy have had some kind of accident because they have been reset to the grid, and so have Senna and Sainsey. So, bit of shenanigans on the formation lap then. Marvsky certainly not doing what Craggy usually does and driving off far into the distance. As you see, some of the cars already set back to the grid. As they come now to park, I'm hoping it's not going to give me this view of the start. Couple more disqualified. It is going to give me this awful view. Hoping it changes very early here. 5 lights out and away they go. It doesn't change, so I'm going on board with Max into turn 1. And Marvsky gets away, and Joker up the inside of Max goes into P2. Joker's made it up to P2. Rouge Nico loses places. Joker, Max and Swanton all together now. Colin, then Syme, Craggy has picked up positions. Senna going around the outside of Mr. Pickle. And that'll become the inside. He should have that place, and he does. So Senna up to P9. Somebody was wide there. Rouge Nico. Rouge Nico is off and in the barriers. In the barriers is Rouge Nico early doors. Sainsey has broken his front wing. So disaster for him starting on the hard tyres. As we filter up through the field, Marvsky leads from Joker. Max in third. Then Swanton, Colin, Syme. Craggy from Smug. Senna into P9 now. From Mr. Pickle. Then Sloth from 50 Gent. Easy Life, Sainsey and Rouge Nico. And Sainsy is carrying on, it seems, with that broken front wing. Joker's got a penalty already for corner cutting. 3-second penalty for Joker, but he's going up the inside on Marvsky. And wide and off! Off he goes! Off he goes, and he smashed his front wing and spun. Joker in all kinds of trouble, and it's really gone wrong for V-Carb early doors. Marvsky leads from Max, Swanton, Colin. Craggy up to P5 ahead of Syme now. Mr. Pickle trying to get to Senna there. All very tight in the early stages. Can Marvsky continue to lead here? Al Newt's cheering him on. And Max has taken the lead. Craggy up the inside of Colin. Set the fastest lap of the race. Joker into the pits. Craggy up the inside all over the curb. Joker speeding in the pit lane. He's got another penalty early doors. Colin squeezed Craggy on the inside there. And Craggy almost lost it. But he continues on. Mr. Pickle has now passed Senna, who has Sloth now chasing him. A long pit stop for Joker, and I think it'll be a long stint now for him as well as he exits the pits. Down at the back of the field, Ruzhniko doesn't seem to have any damage. Sainsy does have damage, but staying out on hard tyres. Senna trying to chase down the Red Bulls, who are going to go side by side, the Red Bulls. And Mr. Pickle has passed Smug. Nice clean move by Mr. Pickle on his teammate there. Smug might fancy to go back at him though. And does, look at that. Smug back up the inside of his teammate. The Red Bulls having a good battle between themselves. Marvsky sticking with Max. Swanton on his case behind him. Then Colin and Craggy. Senna now passing Mr. Pickle, or is he? No, he's had a wobble and he's ghosted and lost a couple of places. Not a fan of the ghosting myself, but there you go. Off is Easy Life. Easy Life's had a problem there, and he's been passed by Ruzhniko. Marvsky going for the lead on Max. Back into the lead goes Marvsky. Craggy and Colin side by side again. Still side by side, wheel to wheel. Colin's caught the inside wheel and he's lost a place to Syme. A bit of wheel banging, went a bit too far that time, and it was bad news for Colin. Easy Life has repassed Ruzhniko, whose quali pace has not translated into the race so far. Marvsky, Max and Swanton, you could throw a blanket over them, they're that close. And Easy Life is again passed by Ruzhniko. We'll stay with the leaders for now. Senna's soft tyre gamble, I don't think really paying off. He's gained a couple of places but doesn't seem to have any excess pace, and the tyres don't last very long as well. Max is going to go for the lead again and completes that before turn one. It's Max now in the lead from Marvsky, Swanton, Craggy and Syme. That's the front five. Marvsky having a look. Swanton getting really close to the back of Marvsky. And Craggy now getting involved as well. Really good battle for the front places at the moment. Senna and Sloth are side by side. And Senna's not left Sloth much room there. 50 Gents picked up a penalty. And Senna just got his elbows out and made sure that one got done. And a spin for Smug. Smug had a bit of a spin there and he's lost places. He's dropped out of the top 10 and he's going to be passed by 50 Gent and now Sainsey as well. So Smug drops down to P12. Sainsey looking for a move on 50. Craggy now making a move on Swanton. Sainsey's got a penalty. Craggy into P3. Senna now going very wide, and he's going to lose out to Sloth surely here. Side by side still. Is it Sloth's turn to get the elbows out this time? As Easy Life and Rouge Nico swap places once again. Senna got the elbows out to defend from Sloth, but Mr. Pickle managed to stay in front after Senna went wide. Now, how much of a team game will go on here? Papaya rules McLaren. Marvsky up the inside of Max, and that is back into the lead. Craggy will look to try and follow him through. He's got inside again using that curb. He's got it, I think. He might get the lead as well. Max is trying to hold it in there, but Craggy is up to P2. It's a McLaren 1-2 at the moment. Rouge Nico and Easy Life continue to battle. Smug repassing 50 Gent as he tries to recover from that spin we saw. How much team play is going to happen at McLaren now that they're 1 and 2? Front 5 still within a second and a half overall. Max and Craggy both with the DRS open. Craggy going defensive. Just placing his car where Max can't pass him. Swanton and Syme. Still right there as well. And it's a really thrilling battle at the moment. They've pulled 5 seconds clear now of Colin. Mr. Pickles picked up a penalty as he defends from Senna and Sloth. Smug trying to get back to Sainsey. 50 Gent following him through. Whoever just messaged me on Discord, I will check that after the race. On 5, starting lap 10 of 36. And Craggy's going for the lead. Craggy into the lead. The McLarens have swapped places. And Craggy takes the lead of the race. Marvsky, though, is going to battle back. And does battle back. Marvsky back into the lead. Craggy defends from Max. Then Swanton. Syme trying to cling on to the back of this front 4. Good to see Syme back up with the front runners. Well, we became accustomed to seeing him quite some time in DRS. Difficult season for him this side. They will plough through. DRS opens again. Is Craggy close enough again for a dive on his teammate? Not this time. Has to still concentrate on keeping Max behind him, and off is Ruznico. Ruznico, that's the second time he's been off. And he drops now to the back of the field. Smug making a move on Sainsy. They're all coming through together, the front five. Smug back up into the top 10. Ruznico, the first one into the pit lane for a regular stop after 10 laps on those soft tyres. Senna must be thinking similar. Does he go hard for 25 laps? That'll be the plan, I think. Max, could he have a run this time on Craggy? He's looking for a move up the inside. Max and Craggy side by side. And Max gets it done. I missed what a yellow flag was for elsewhere. Max and Craggy side by side again. And still wheel to wheel. And Craggy just manages to stay ahead. Senna and Sloth having a battle again, wheel to wheel again. Senna stays ahead. Swanton's off. Swanton is off. And he was right with the leading pack. He's now dropped behind Colin, who had to give him the place back, actually. Yeah, unfortunate there for Colin. The yellow flag, obviously, flashing up so he couldn't overtake, which was unfortunate. Swanton was off the track at the time, or just rejoining the track. Ruznico's got a penalty now. Max is going for it round the outside this time. What a move that is. Craggy keeps it in there. Colin's making a move on Swanton. And Senna makes a move on Sloth. Struggling to keep up. Max and Craggy, their battle is leading Marvsky to try and get away a bit. Colin and Swanton still battle. Swanton back in front. Senna's tyres must be screaming now after 12 laps. Sloth is all over the back of him. And Senna with a big power slide there. Surely it's not long before we see him in the pit lane. And how about the medium runners? When do we think the medium runners are going to pit? Craggy still has DRS to defend with, but only just. As Marvsky tried to get away a bit. And Swanton into the pits. And off is 50 Gent. Sainsy's got another penalty. 50 Gent is off. Swanton going for a long stint on the hards. He's coming back out now. Mr. Pickle has passed Colin. 50 Gent into the pits. Mr. Pickle now up to P5. Of course, Marvsky, the race leader, does come under a Pro-Am at the moment. So, not quite the lead in the Pro-Am for Mr. Pickle, but a solid P5 at the moment. Senna's still there. Still out there, but Sloth has now overtaken him. Easy Life's into the pits. And and will be lapped by the front runners. Who are still led by Marvsky. Craggy defensive line on the inside. Senna now in the pits. Yellow flag in turn 1 is Sloth. It's Sloth. Sloth's gone off. Sloth's gone off and it's in turn 1. He's broken his front wing. Senna exiting the pit lane. Sainsy still soldiering on with that broken wing. Colin has repassed Mr. Pickle. The McLarens continue to lead from Max in third. Syme has just dropped away a little bit in the last couple of laps. As the front three forge on, and Craggy's going to have a look again. Max is trying to pick up any scraps. The battling that let Marvsky escape now seemingly is reeling him back in. And Max has another look up the inside. Craggy closes the door. In the pits is Sloth. Saw him break his wing a minute ago. Joker climbing back through the field, but with another 20 laps to go, surely he can't go to the end on those hard tyres. And he's also got multiple penalties. We'll look at the penalties for you. 13 seconds for Joker. 6 for his teammate Sainsy. 3 for 50 for Ruznico and for Mr. Pickle. And 50 is going to pass Sloth. Max and Craggy at it again, and Max this time is back up into P2, but for how long? Because Craggy's right on his rear, and he's going to pull out and pass Max. Max tries to hold it round the outside. He's done very well to try that, but it's not going to happen. Still almost wheel to wheel. Pickle and Colin side by side. Neither of these two have pit yet. Smug is in the pits and is passed by Joker and Senna. Senna's gone soft medium, so surely we'll need to pit again. Maybe not. 19 more laps. The medium runners at the front are still going. 50 gents come out on a set of softs. Alternative strategy for him, and he's battling with Sloth. And now in the pit lane is Marvsky from the lead. Marvsky in. Colin and Mr. Pickle scrapping will go past. Sainsy is not going to make it, I don't think. And Marvsky should rejoin here in P6. Pickle passes Colin once again. There is Marvsky rejoining ahead of Sainsy. Craggy and Max now battling for the lead. And managing to keep the tyres going to almost half race distance, so they'll be able to go to the hards without any problem at all. Bit of a slide from Craggy, and Max is going to go up the inside. Max into the lead now. And is either one going to pit? No, they're carrying on, and Craggy's going to try and retake the lead round the outside. Craggy back into the lead. Another good scrap between these two at the front. Syme coming to lap Easy Life. Mr. Pickle is now 4th from Colin, with Marvsky in P6. Then Sainsy, Swanton from Senna. Joker back into the top 10. Smug, Sloth. Senna, penalty, 3 seconds. Track limit penalties starting to stack up now, with 6 of the 15 drivers picking a penalty up. Craggy and Max, are they going to pit this lap? Nope, they're both carrying on. And Max is going to go up the inside this time. And back into the lead goes Max. Got a bit of power slide there from Max, and Craggy might just take advantage. He does. Really good scrap. They've cleared now away from Syme. Into the pits is Sainsy. He will drop behind his teammate and Smug. Will be clear of Sloth. Even with that wing change. Long pit lane here, but I think he should be okay. And back out in P11. Could the leaders be going medium to soft? Surely not. Finding more and more life out of these tyres though. They're going round again. 20 laps old now, the tyres of the front 5. Max has picked up a penalty. That could be crucial. Easy Life seemingly keeping pace with Syme in the last few laps, despite being a lap down, so you can tell just how bad the tyres have gone. For some of them anyway. Colin driving a solid race just behind Mr. Pickle at the moment. Interesting to see where they filter in after the pit stops. Craggy and Max into the straight once again. Is it time for one of them or both to box? No, it is not. They go again. And Max is going to the outside. Locks up, but gets it done. And Max back into the lead. 50 Gent with another penalty. Mr. Pickle into the pit lane. Craggy takes Max once again. Pickle in the pits. Passed by Swanton and Senna. Should be out ahead of Joker. He's gone for softs. So Senna did 14 laps on the softs. It's about what Mr. Pickle has got to do now. In fact, Joker does get past him, and his teammate almost as well. Where's he going to come out, Mr. Pickle? He is going to be behind Smug and Joker. So it's down to P10 for Mr. Pickle. Let's see what his pace is like on them soft tyres. 50 Gent in the pits once again. Front 4 still not boxing. Max now in the pits. And speeding in the pits. He's got a 10-second penalty. Marvsky catching Colin. Colin dives into the pit lane. Syme's in as well. Max is going softs. Marvsky back up into P2 ahead of Max. And the penalties might just cost Max. Swanton is ahead of Syme and Colin. So is Senna possibly. He is. Syme will rejoin in P6. Colin in 7. Followed by Joker, Pickle and Smug. So Senna, if he can make these tyres last, as he did in the first stint, could actually be doing better than we thought. He's in 5th now. Good undercut. Good undercut for him. Craggy now in the pits. Is Max going to get the undercut? Marvsky goes through now into the lead. And Max goes through now into P2. Craggy's going to come out just ahead of Swanton. Craggy, Max, both going for soft tyres. Pickle, fastest lap of the race and past Joker into P8. Syme's all over the back of Senna. Joker trying to stick with Mr. Pickle. 21 laps old, those hard tyres now. Still another 12 to go. Rouge Nico's in the pits again. Just as I thought the pit stops may be over with. Marvsky then, a couple of seconds is the lead, but Max has 13 seconds of penalties. Craggy not far back. And I'm sure on the soft tyres those two will have the pace to catch Marvsky. As Syme looks for a move on Senna. And again, Syme side by side with Senna. Up the inside he goes. And that is a comfortable move into P5. Joker is sticking with Mr. Pickle. Just show you those penalties briefly. 13 seconds for Joker and Max. 6 for Sainsy and 50. Easy Life's got 3 now, along with Rouge Nico, Mr. Pickle and Senna. Craggy, fastest lap of the race as the two of them close in on Marvsky. Marvsky's just got a back marker in front of him. I believe that is Rouge Nico. Max closing the gap to Marvsky. But somehow has to get 13 seconds away. And make those soft tyres last to the end. Nico making a nice little move on 50 Gent there, who pulled out of the way of the front runners. Max is going to go for the lead here, I think. Marvsky has no defence, and Max goes up the inside to retake the lead of this race. But Marvsky will not give it up. Side by side again. Bit of a wheel bump almost. Max stays ahead, but Marski's still there. And Max manages to complete the move. Craggy just a second further back. I think Marski would be well served now to do his teammate a favour and move aside and let Craggy go for the battle with Max for the win. Of course, with the 13 seconds though, it is a McLaren 1-2 on the cards at the moment, which will do absolute wonders for their championship standings in the Constructors' Championship. Sloth not having the best of races today, down in P12 at the moment. Certainly the kind of performance this from Marski that will get him put in the Pro rather than the Pro-Am. Smug closing in on Joker. There's a move for P9. Joker, of course, suffering with those penalties as well. His tyres now 25 laps old. He is trying to go to the end. So far, he might not get any points for his efforts. Craggy closing now on Marski, both with DRS. Marski's certainly not moving out of the way. Craggy goes around the outside though. Marski hangs it in there. And certainly no team orders at play at McLaren, where Craggy will try and come again, but Marski does have DRS as well, as he's still close to the back of Max. Craggy's got a penalty now. Joker repassing Smug. 26 lap old tyres. And back up into P9, but the penalties are going to negate that. Marski could be on for a huge statement victory here. The two he's racing with have penalties. And we're about to start lap 30 of 36. Marski sticking with Max. Craggy looks on, as does Rouge Nico's a lap down, but keeping pace well now with the leaders. And using that bonus DRS nicely. Side by side the McLarens. Is this the moment for Craggy? Yes, it is. Craggy past Marski into P2. Now can Marski stick with the front two as they battle? Smug and Joker having a battle. And Smug back in front. Can Marski stay within 3 seconds of Craggy, 13 seconds of Max, to take a maiden victory? We'll soon find out. They're both looking for a move on Max here. The two McLarens. And Craggy looks likely to do that very shortly. Takes the wide out route and takes the lead of the race. Smug's got a penalty now. So Craggy into the lead. Max now in the meat, is the meat in the sandwich. Marski just needs to stay within the gap. Joker and Smug side by side again. And Joker on these tyres that he's going to run and run and run, is having a right scrap with Smug, which I'm sure is not helping his tyre management. Smug back ahead. Shout outs for Sloth, for Colin, Symes, Swanton and Marvsky, the only ones without penalties. Here we go again with another potential three-way battle for the lead. Up the inside goes Max. Locks up wheel to wheel. Craggy's going to keep it there. Marvsky right in behind. Are they going to go three wide down the straight? They are. They're three wide. And Marvsky retakes the lead. Max and Craggy still wheel to wheel. And still. And Craggy just manages to get into P2. But Marvsky jumped both of them there. And as these soft tyres hit the 8 or 9 lap mark, is the advantage now with Marvsky in terms of tyres. Syme making a move on Senna. That's for P5. Easy Life's in the pits once again. But Marvsky is taking giant steps towards that maiden victory. Craggy now out of DRS range as he tries to back Max up, I think. He knows Max has got the penalties. Nico has a penalty now. So is this ultimate team play for the 1-2 as Senna passes Syme for P5? Ultimate team play from Craggy. He knows he's got a penalty. He knows Max has got more penalties. Just back Max up and be the rear gunner for Marvsky to take the victory. Who knows? Syme and Senna battling, but Senna with that penalty is going to lose this position, and maybe another one to Colin, who you see in the background. Sloth in the pits. Free pit stop for him. As Nico is the next car behind him and was 24 seconds behind. The front three go through again. Just 3 laps to go now. And Max is doing everything he can, but the penalty is going to cost him. Sloth exits the pits just ahead of this front three. So he will get blue flags very shortly. Craggy up the inside. Sorry, around the outside. No, it was Craggy on the inside. Apologies. Marvsky retains the lead. Max trying to go around the long way on Craggy. Wheel to wheel again. And contact, and they're both gone off. Bit of wheel bagging for Max and Craggy. Joker into the pit. 31 laps they lasted, but now he's got a free pit stop. And Craggy now ahead of Max again. And they lost a couple of seconds to Marvsky. He'll be delighted to see that. Swanton is closing in. Close enough for a podium. Close enough to Max to nick his podium spot perhaps. Max now passes Craggy once again. These two are going to continue to scrap, no doubt about it. Syme and Colin could cash in on Senna's penalty. 2 laps to go. Here they go fighting again, and Craggy back into P2. We'll put on the penalties for you. Max 13 seconds, and at the moment Swanton only 9 behind. That's going to cost Max a podium. Mr. Pickle with another penalty. Sainsy passing Smug, who was in the pits, that's why. So there are the penalties. Max looks like he's going to miss out on a podium here. Marvski has begun the final lap of the race. Craigie and Max continue to scrap. Ruzhniko's had a good last stint actually, keeping up with these guys despite being a lap down. Marvski then comes round the final couple of corners. Joker sets the fastest lap of the race. Marvski comes to the line and Marvski wins in Brazil. Craigie will come home in P2 with Max losing that P3 to Swanton. Max will be fourth. Senna will be home next, but will lose that to Syme and Colin. So it's Syme 5, Colin 6 from Senna in 7. Mr. Pickle is next, depending on penalties, but I think he's equal with Sainsy there. So Mr. Pickle in P8. Sainsy next in P9. Smug next for P10. Then Joker will be next from Sloth. In fact, Sloth will go ahead of Joker because Joker's got a lot of penalties, I think. In fact, no, he served. And the other three finished a lap down. Driver of the day is Craigie according to the game. It's Marvski for me. So, a 1-2 for McLaren. Marvski on the top step. Craigie the world champion in second. Swanton takes third with Max down in fourth after a penalty. And a maiden victory for Marvski. Joker took the fastest lap but finished in P11. So a 1-2 for McLaren. Swanton gains some ground on Max in the race for second. Joker losing out there. Simon P5 from Colin and Senna, Mr. Pickle. Sainsy with a podium in the Pro-Am as well. And Smug in P10. So Marvski takes the win. He was classified as a Pro-Am. I don't think he will be for much longer after that. But it's a big win for him and a big, big win. 1-2 for McLaren. I will be back in 45 minutes with Blobby Monday. And then join us next week for the league finales of DRS at 8 PM. In fact, 7:45. Because Blobby Monday goes 100%. But first we go to Vegas in 45 minutes. I will see you then. Thank you.